My dear friend, if you are listening to this, chances are your heart is heavy. Perhaps the nights feel longer than the days. Perhaps your mind keeps racing with what ifs, painting pictures of futures that terrify you. You smile in front of others, but inside you feel exhausted, drained by battles no one else sees. When we worry, we think we are preparing ourselves for tomorrow, but in truth, worry only robs us of the strength we need to live today. It is like carrying 2 days at once, the weight of the present and the shadow of the future, and the human heart was never designed for such a burden. I have seen people spend sleepless nights rehearsing problems that never even came to pass. Perhaps you have done the same, lying awake, imagining the worst, convinced that fear will somehow protect you. Yet hasn't life taught us again and again that most of what we fear never actually happens? And when storms do come, we often discover a resilience that we never thought we had. Scripture whispers, "Do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." These words are not a command to ignore responsibility, but an invitation to trust. A gentle reminder that grace is given one day at a time. So pause here, take a breath, feel today in your hands. The strength you long for is not hidden in tomorrow's troubles, it is present with you now. And once you begin to trust this truth, you will be ready for the next step. Worry is not only a weight upon the heart, it is faith misplaced. Every time we choose to dwell on fear, we are, in a way, placing our trust in the possibility of disaster rather than the promise of hope. Think about it. Worry is imagination used against us. Instead of picturing the goodness that could unfold, we build elaborate stories of everything that might fall apart. I remember hearing a simple line once, "What you focus on grows," and how true it is. When we give our energy to fear, it multiplies. When we give our attention to faith, peace begins to bloom. The scriptures say, "Cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you." This is not poetic comfort alone. It is an instruction, a redirection of where to place our trust. We are not called to magnify our problems. We are called to magnify the one who walks with us through them. So I invite you to ask yourself gently, where is your faith resting today? On the mountain of worry or on the rock of trust? For once your faith finds its rightful place, even the smallest flicker of belief can begin to steady your soul and prepare you for what comes next. The universe bends toward those who trust. Life has a way of opening doors when we stop trying to force them open with anxious hands. Trust is not passive, it is an active posture of the heart, a steady belief that even when the path is hidden, the one who guides us sees the way clearly. Think of the seed buried deep in the soil. It cannot see the sun, yet it trusts that light exists. It does not dig itself out in panic. It waits, surrendering to a rhythm larger than itself. And in that surrender, life begins to stir, roots begin to anchor, and in time, it breaks through the earth into the warmth it always longed for. So often we live as if everything depends on us, our calculations, our plans, our constant worrying over what might go wrong. But when we loosen our grip, when we place our fragile tomorrows into faithful hands, something shifts within us, fear loses its hold, peace quietly enters. Scripture tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." This is the invitation to trade frantic control for holy trust, and in doing so, to discover strength for the journey ahead. Victory does not begin in circumstances, it begins in the heart. Too often, we think winning is about the absence of struggle, the removal of every obstacle. But real victory is born long before the circumstances change. It begins in the quiet decision to stand firm, to believe, to refuse to let fear write the final chapter of our story. Think of David before he ever faced Goliath. His victory was not sealed the moment the stone struck the giant. It was sealed in the pasture, when he learned to trust God while tending sheep, when he chose courage over fear in the face of lions and bears. His heart was trained long before the battlefield appeared. And so it is with us. The battles outside are reflections of the battles within. When your heart chooses faith over fear, perseverance over despair, gratitude over bitterness, you are already winning, even if the outward evidence has not yet arrived. Scripture reminds us, "Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world." That truth means your greatest victories are not determined by what stands against you, but by the one who strengthens you within, and this strength prepares you for the next revelation. Grace meets us in our weakness. It does not wait for us to be polished, perfect, or in control. It comes to us in the raw places, the nights we cannot sleep, the mornings we dread, the moments when tears come easier than words, where human strength runs out, grace begins to flow. I remember a friend once telling me, "I didn't know God was all I needed until God was all I had." Perhaps you have felt this too, when life strips away your ability to manage, when your cleverness, your willpower, your plans all seem to fail. It is in that holy breaking point that grace arrives, quiet and steady, carrying you in ways you could not carry yourself. The scriptures remind us, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Notice those words, sufficient, perfect in weakness. This means you don't have to be unshakable to experience victory. You don't have to hide your wounds to be worthy of help. So if you feel empty today, do not despair. Grace does not see emptiness as failure, it sees it as room to be filled. And in that filling, you are prepared for the battle that truly matters. The greatest battles are not against people, but against fear itself. Many of us think the enemy is outside, a boss who misunderstands us, a friend who betrays us, a situation that feels too heavy to bear. But if we look closely, we find that the fiercest struggle is within. Fear whispers, "You can't." Fear paints shadows larger than they are. Fear convinces us that retreat is safer than rising. Think of Israel standing before the Red Sea, the water before them, the army behind them. Their real enemy in that moment was not Pharaoh, it was fear. And yet, when Moses lifted his staff and trusted, the waters parted. The lesson is clear. When fear is silenced by faith, what once looked impossible becomes the pathway forward. Scripture tells us God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Fear is not your inheritance. Courage is, love is, peace is. So when you feel trapped in your circumstances, pause and ask, is this truly the wall I face, or the fear within me that magnifies it? For once fear loses its grip, victory is already at your doorstep, waiting for you to walk through. My dear friend, we have walked together through these truths that whisper gently to the weary soul. Worry is a thief, faith misplaced is fear, trust unlocks hidden strength, victory is born in the heart, grace is sufficient in weakness, and fear is the only true giant we must face. If there is one message I long for you to carry home, it is this: you were not created to live in the prison of worry. You were made to rise, to trust, to lean into grace, and to walk boldly in the strength already placed within you. The weight you've been carrying was never meant to be yours alone. Lay it down, let it go. Step into the freedom of knowing that you are seen, held, and carried by a love greater than every fear. Stop worrying, start winning. Winning not as the world defines it, but as heaven whispers it, by living with courage, by breathing in peace, by walking in faith even when the path is uncertain. So lift your head, steady your heart, and take the next step forward. Victory is not far, it has already begun inside you. Would you like me to also craft a shorter, poetic style blessing or benediction style, around 4 to 5 lines that you could deliver right after this conclusion? Something that feels like a gentle seal on the entire message. You said, write me hook for start of speech, 200 words. ChatGPT said, here's a 200-word opening hook crafted to immediately capture attention, stir emotion, and draw the listener into stop worrying and start winning. There comes a point in life when the weight of worry becomes too heavy to carry. Perhaps you know that feeling, the nights when your mind will not rest, rehearsing every what if until the sunrise finds you weary. The mornings when you look in the mirror and wonder if today will be any different from yesterday, or if you will once again be haunted by the same fears, the same doubts, the same endless noise inside your head. My friend, if that is where you are right now, I want you to know this: you are not alone. Every soul has walked through valleys of uncertainty. Every heart has wrestled with invisible battles. Worry is the silent weight we all know too well. But here is the truth we so often forget: worry does not protect us from tomorrow, it only steals the strength we need for today. What if today was the day you chose differently? What if you could lay down the burden of worry and step into the freedom of faith, the strength of courage, the peace of trust? This journey we are beginning together is about exactly that, learning to stop worrying and start winning.